The whole of the Christian life can be summed up in these two commandments. Hi, my name is Kate. Welcome to Seeking to Remain. This is a YouTube channel where I share some thoughts and ideas about the upcoming Sunday Gospel and how it's applying to my life, and hopefully offer you some practical ideas, inspiration, reflections on how to continue integrating the scriptures more deeply into your everyday life and your daily routines. Our Gospel for this week comes from the Gospel of Matthew. It's a short gospel, so I am just going to read the whole thing so that we have the full context. When the Pharisees heard that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" He said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments." The whole of the Christian life can be summed up in these two commandments. We talk about how the first three of the 10 commandments go into the first of Jesus's great commandments, and all the rest, love your neighbor as yourself, cover this other 7. They all fit into the other 7. Sorry, that was worded strangely. Okay, but how? We have these words, but how? How do we do this every day? I loved what our priest shared in his homily last week. And I feel like I've heard it before. I probably have, probably in a different homily, but I think in Kansas, maybe. I'm not sure. But I wrote it down again because it is so good and it is so practical, and it really drives everything home. He was talking about giving. And remember, last week we talked about give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, give to God what belongs to God. In Jesus's 2 commandments, we're talking about the ordering of our lives, giving to God our heart, our soul, our mind, our strength, and then giving to our neighbors whatever it is that we would hope to receive from them. So, practically speaking, we can live out both of these commandments by looking at the ways that we choose to give and who we give to. So, there we go. We should give sacrificially, not sparingly. We should give joyfully, not grudgingly. And we should give systematically, not sporadically. I thought these were just so good because they're so rooted in reality. Giving sacrificially, giving the best, the first, not whatever's left over. Giving to God what belongs to God, giving to God our day, and starting our day with a morning offering or with time spent in prayer, with liturgy of the hours, with scripture, with the daily readings, working your way through a book of the Bible, however you do it. But starting the day I'm not on systematically, but sacrificially offering those first few moments when you would want to think about what's coming up in the day or organize something or hop in the shower or whatever it is, sacrificially giving that time over to God. And then consistently doing that throughout the day. Sacrificially giving to those around you. Letting someone else walk in the door before yourself. Letting someone order their food before yourself. Really wanting to sit and read for your own pleasure, but choosing to read to your child instead. Desperately wanting to have time in the evening, but choosing to first play a game with your older children? How can you work into your routine sacrificially giving on a regular basis? I promise if you do it, it will become easier and you will find more opportunities to give. And that leads you into a spirit of joyful giving instead of grudgingly giving. When you only give sparingly, when you are miserly with your time, with your finances, those are two really big ones, then you begrudgingly give when asked. But when you're sacrificially giving, when you're continuing to put the other person first, when you put God first, you see and feel the joy that comes from giving to the other person. And then I found systematically rather than sporadically to also be something really that just gets at the heart of it. How are you ordering your day, your time, so that you can systematically be doing this, so that it's not always spur of the moment or a surprise? Do you have those automatic payments set up for your parish? Or have you built a system so that you remember every single week to put money in that basket? Are you regularly donating volunteer time or more financial assistance to other organizations? How are you choosing to structure things in your life so that your giving becomes inherent to who you are? We've made it real easy with all the automatic options with your bank account and credit cards. We've maybe made it a little less easy with volunteering our time because of all the other demands that are on our time. How often do you go and volunteer time that you're not paid for, that you aren't gaining anything from, that you are just freely giving that time? That's something that I need to work on. We're very good at donating regularly. As a family, we haven't figured out that volunteer time. As a family, that's something I would like to see us grow in. So I hope those are some ideas for how you can live out these commandments that Jesus has given us. I'll read them one more time. Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest? Jesus said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I hope that you have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week.